Hi friends, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a lower body and hip class. It'll be focused on hip and pelvis stability and hip mobility as well, and a little bit of flexibility too. So a bit of everything. We are going to be using the straps quite a bit, and we are also going to be using the ball as a prop as well. I'm going to start with one green and one yellow spring. So for me, that's one medium, one light spring. My foot bar's all the way up, and I'm just gonna have my ball where I can reach it soon. My straps are also hung up. So lay it down on your back. I'm just gonna bring my headrest up, a little bit more comfortable. Let's just start by hugging our knees into our chest here. And then we'll just take a little gentle rock from side to side with those hips, sort of massaging out that lower back a little bit. Good. Let's grab separately onto those knees. We're going to circle them away from each other. Big circle around and then back together. Bring the knees in, press them away. Circling around. Just starting to wake up those hips a little bit. And let's reverse direction. So press away a little bit. Open those knees apart from each other. Circle them up and in. Last one here. Let's bring that left heel onto the foot bar. Press all the way out. We're going to extend that right leg up to the ceiling, and we're going to draw some nice big circles. So you're going to bring it out to the side, sweep the leg down to the foot bar, and then reaching it back up to the ceiling. So the key for this one is to keep your hips nice and stable and heavy on that carriage. So you're not letting the hips sort of rock from side to side depending on where the weight of the leg is going. You'll also feel your core working a little bit here too. And take your time. Keep your legs as straight as you can. Let's reverse direction. So lower the leg down to the foot bar. Circle it out to the side. Up to the ceiling and lower back down. The circles don't have to be very big. Just do what feels good for you and your hips. We are still just warming up. I like to put my hands on my hips because it helps me to remember to stay nice and even. We're just doing one more. And then we're going to hug that knee into your chest, taking a little sway from side to side with that knee. If you want, you can just go for one hand, so it would be the same hand as the leg, really letting that knee drop out to the side, bit of external rotation, and then sort of pressing that knee across the body. Let it drop out to the side. Pressing across the body. Last one here. And then let's bring that carriage in, switching sides. So we're going to have that right heel on the foot bar, left leg in tabletop, straightening out both legs here. We're going to drop that left leg out to the side, sweep it down to the foot bar, and then kick back up to the ceiling. Out to the side, sweeping around, lifting up, keeping the hips stable. Make them as big or as small as you can control. Keep reaching that leg long. Let's do one more in this direction. Up to the ceiling. Now let's reverse it. Sweep down to the foot bar. Circle it out to the side. Sweep up to the ceiling. Lower with control. Stabilizing. Use that core to help you. Last two. Last one. Bend the knee in, hug it into your chest. And start taking a little drop from side to side with that knee. If you like, have just that left hand on the knee, opening as far out to the side as you can, and then pressing across the body. Let's just do one more. And then slowly bring that carriage all the way in. All right, I'm going to grab onto my ball, starting with just the right foot in the strap here. Then we're going to lift that left leg into tabletop. Bring the ball in between the ankles. So I'm going to have my knees over my hips and my heels roughly in line with the knees, maybe a little bit higher. My knees aren't collapsing into each other. There's a little bit of space there, hip distance apart. Let's press out to straight legs and then bending back in. Pressing out to straight, bending in just until those knees are over those hips or a little bit closer. You don't want to collapse your knees all the way to your chest. Go slow and controlled. Pressing through both legs evenly. Keep that ball as still as you can. Keeping everything at hip distance here. Slow and controlled. Exhale as you press. Keeping stable through both hips. Don't start to swing your hips off to the right side. Keep the hips heavy. Let's go for 4. 3. 2. Press out to straight. We're now going to lift the straight legs up to the ceiling with control. And then sweep back down over top of the foot bar. Lifting both legs evenly. Keep those legs straight. Sweep back down. You'll feel the front of this free leg, so the left leg working quite hard here to lift and lower. That's good. Try and keep as still and stable as you can. We've got 3 more. Two. All right, lower those legs down, bend the knees and grab the ball. You can just place it off to the side. Rest that left leg down for a moment, reaching the right leg up to the ceiling. You feel a nice stretch down the back of that right leg, but don't let the hips lift. Keep your hips super heavy. Thinking about a little bit of a neutral spine, a little bit of a gap between your lower back and the carriage. I'm just sort of giving this left leg a bit of a break for a moment. All right, sweep that right leg down, extend that left leg. We are now going to do a little scissor motion. So the right leg's going to lift as the left leg lowers, reach them both long, and switch. Left leg lifts, right leg lowers down. It's hard to lift this left leg, I know. Lift it as high as you can, really working the front of the hip here, keeping the leg as straight as you can. Move with control. Let's do 3 more. I like to point my left leg, my left toe. I find it helps me keep my leg straight. Last one. And reach both legs up to the sky. We're now going to draw leg circles like we would with both feet in straps. Bring the legs close to you. Open out to a V. Pull evenly to circle around. Good. You don't want these circles very big, otherwise you will get out of control with this. Make them small and controlled. We're not going to be here for too long. Try and move evenly. If this is too hard, go back to just your lift and lowers, or make those circles super small. Last one. We're going to reverse it. So open out to a little V, up to the sky, draw those legs together at the top. Last 3. Inner thighs are stabilizing hard here. 2. And 1. Good. Bring that left foot down onto the foot bar. Reach the right leg up. Let yourself have a little stretch in the back of that right leg. And then you're going to drop that right leg out to the side. Drop the left knee out to the side. So you're doing a little inner thigh stretch with that right leg. Now, same thing here. Keep the hips stable. Often the hips want to swing over to the right side. But keep them stable, letting that left knee drop out. If you want to grab onto the strap and pull a little bit more for a deeper stretch, you can do that too. And then bring that leg back to center. Bring your left leg back to center as well. And then slightly drop that right leg across the body. Just a little bit. You don't want the hips to lift too much. You should feel a deeper stretch in the outer part of the thigh of that right leg. Keep the leg as straight as you can. Come back to center and then taking that right foot out of the strap. You can hang that strap back up and take a little drop of those knees from side to side if you like. Just releasing the hips a little bit. And then we are going straight into the other side. So bring your ball with you, press out, and then place that left foot into the long loop. Bring that right leg to tabletop and then bring the ball in between the ankles. All right, we're starting with our little squats or presses. So just pressing out to straight legs evenly, and then bend the knees back in. Don't let the knees come all the way to your chest. You don't want that tailbone lifting. Stabilizing here. Keep that ball as still as you can. Always moving slow and with control. Keeping that space between the knees, so the knees are hip distance apart. Don't let those knees drop into each other. Got 3 more. Pressing all the way out to straight. For 2. Last one. Press out to straight, reach your legs up to the ceiling. Make sure that bottom doesn't lift. And then sweeping evenly back over top of the foot bar. Lifting up, keep both legs straight. It might not be a very big lift up to the sky, depending on your hamstring flexibility. My hamstrings are quite flexible, so I can lift up quite high without my bottom lifting, but it might only be till here until your bottom lifts. Make sure that that bottom doesn't lift. Just moving with your own body. Last 3. 2. 1. Lower those legs down, bend the knees in, take the ball out. You can place that right foot onto the foot bar, reaching that left leg up to the sky. Just letting that right leg relax a little bit of a stretch in the back of that left leg. All right, when you're ready, we're going to come into our scissors next. So we're going to lower that leg in the strap down as the other leg lifts up to the ceiling, and switch. Lower the free leg down, lift the strap leg up. Sweeping long with those legs. Good. Moving slowly. Pulling that free leg as close to your face as you can without those hips going off balance. You've got 3. 2. And 1. Reach your legs straight up to the ceiling. Now we're going to go for our circles. So open out for a little V, sweeping down over top of the foot bar. Reach those legs back up to the ceiling. Make it small. Watch your legs. They should be moving nice and evenly here. Keep those hips heavy. Last 2 in this direction. All right, let's reverse it. Open out to a little V, circling around up to the ceiling. Draw those legs back together. Lower down, open out. Circle around, bring them back together. Two more. Last one. Good. All right, lower that right foot down. Let yourself have a little stretch down the back of this left leg. Keeping nice neutral spine. If you want to pull down on the rope, you can do that too. And then we're going to open out for our inner thigh stretch. So that left leg drops out to the side, the right knee drops out to the side. Stay nice and even, not hiking up through one hip. And you can pull down on the strap for a little bit of a deeper stretch. All right, coming back to center. Now we're going to drop that leg across the body slightly, just until you feel a stretch in the outer part of that left thigh. Breathing into that stretch. Coming back to center, take one final stretch through center. And then you can take that foot out of the strap, hanging the strap back up. I'm gonna roll on up. I'm gonna take the yellow spring off, so I have just one green spring on. And then I'm gonna drop my foot bar down just one notch, just so it's a little bit out of the way. We're gonna do a little bit of side lying. You can use your ball as a pillow if you like. I prefer just my headrest up. All right, laying down, I'm just gonna bring my right foot into the strap, so that's my top foot. Now make sure that your bottom's scooted to the very back edge of the reformer. You have a nice neutral spine, hips are stacked, you're laying directly on your side. It's really important to set this up first so that you know the position to be in throughout the whole series. Stay lifted through the bottom ribs, make sure you're not collapsing. All right, we're just gonna start with some lift and lowers here. So we're gonna lift that top knee up, squeeze the outer glute, and then lower down with control. Lift up, keep the hips stacked, don't let that top hip roll backwards as you lift that knee up. And I'm roughly keeping my heel in line with my knee so that everything's lifting up at the same time and lowering down with control. Good. We're opening up a little bit of external rotation. So really try and get that knee as high as you can. Feel that outer glute squeeze, feel the opening of the hip. Just going for 4. 3. 2. Last one. Lower down, lift that leg just to hip height. You're now going to tap the heels together without the carriage moving, and then tap the knees together. So tap the top knee down, let the heel lift, let the foot lift. So you're tapping the heel down, lift the knee, Tapping the knee down, lift the heel. So this here is our external rotation. This is our internal rotation. For 4. Make sure that strap is underneath the knee. 2. And 1. Relax it down for a moment. We're now going to go into some leg circles here. So we're going to start with that leg out nice and long, lifting up through the bottom ribs. We're going to lift that leg up to the ceiling. Let it come as high as it can without collapsing through the core. Lower that leg down in front of you, just to hip height, and then sweep back around. Lift it up, the toes can turn up. That leg come all the way in, bring it down in front of you, sweeping back around. Keeping the leg straight. Try and move freely through that hip. Get full movement here. Should feel quite nice, but also challenging. Let's do 2 more in this direction. Alright, we're going to reverse it. So sweep the leg forward first, up at hip height as far as you can without collapsing through the ribs. Lift up to the ceiling, sweeping down just to hip height. Sweep it forward, keep your hips still, reach up to the sky, sweeping down. Feels so nice. Almost there. We've got 3. Last 2. And last one here. Beautiful. Let's lift that leg straight up to the ceiling now. My toes are turned up, knees facing me. And I'm going to let my leg come nice and close, pulling on that strap. So now I am relaxing through my core. This is more of a passive sort of stretch. Getting that leg up nice and high. Release. Lift up through the core and then sweep that leg down to hip height. Sweep it forward now, grabbing onto that strap. Pulling it. I like to sort of drop my foot down below the carriage a little bit. Feeling a stretch in the outer part of the glute and the outer thigh too. Just relaxing into this stretch. Nice. All right, let's take our foot out of that strap. I'm going to drop that strap into the well and we're going to do it on the other side. So rolling over to the other side. Again, get yourself set up here so you're laying directly on your side, stacking those hips at the back of the carriage, and then bringing your top foot into that long loop. Stack the knees, stack the legs. And then we're just going to start with our lift and lower. So lifting the knee and the ankle up to the ceiling, lowering down with control. Don't let the hips move. Squeeze the outer glute as you lift, lowering back down. Carriage should stay still. Let's go for 3 more. That's 2. Finish your last one here. And then have that leg just at hip height. We're going to now tap our heels together. So tap the top heel down, lift the top knee, and then tap the top knee down, lift the heel. Internal rotation this is. And then we tap the heel, lift the knee for that external rotation. Stabilizing through the hips and pelvis. We've got 2 more like this. Last one. And relax it down. Have a little rest. And then we're going to start going for those leg circles. So you're going to sweep that leg out to straight. Turn the toes up. Sweep all the way up to the ceiling without collapsing through the bottom ribs. Let that leg come down in front of you to hip height. Pull through the hamstring to come back behind you. Lifting up. Lowering down and sweep. Make it nice and big. Sometimes I like to have my hand on my hip to remind me to keep my hip stable. Not let it roll around. We're trying to move the hip in its socket here. One more in this direction. And then reverse it. Let that leg sweep forward first. Then turn it up to the ceiling. Pulling down to hip height. Sweep forward. Lift up. And pull it down. Make these circles nice and big. You've got 3 more. Last 2. And last one. Sweep it down, then sweep it back up to the ceiling. Relax, let everything chill. Grabbing onto the rope, pulling that leg close to you. Breathing into this stretch. And then let that leg drop down in front of you. I like to let it relax. Pulling on that rope, feeling a stretch in the outer part of the hip and the outer thigh as well. When you're ready, you can take that foot out of the strap, drop the strap into the well, rolling all the way up. I'm just going to finish off with a few little hip flexor stretches. I'm going to do these on my reformer. You can also do it stepping off to the side if you prefer. I'm going to start with my right foot forward. Left foot is up against the shoulder block, and then I'm going to press my hips forward, keeping the chest lifted. Feel a nice stretch down the very top and the front of this back leg. I'm going to come into a hamstring stretch, so bend the back knee in, straighten the front leg. You can bring your hands down onto the railing, and if you are quite flexible, you can press that back leg away too. So you'll be in a split stretch. If not, just keep that back knee bent, that's totally fine. And you can also keep your hands on the foot bar if you prefer. When you're ready, slowly come all the way in, and then we'll go to the other side. So bringing that left foot onto the platform, right foot up against the shoulder block, dropping the hips low, lifting the chest. Breathing into this stretch. Let's bend the back knee in. We'll straighten through the front leg. You can keep it here with your hands on the foot bar, or you can drop your hands onto the railing. You can also come back into your split stretch. Try and keep those hips nice and square, not turning out to the side. And then slowly coming all the way back in. And that is us all done, guys. I hope you had a great session, and I will see you in the next one.